Hi, this is Sophie from Bright Opal Tarot, and welcome to Humpback Day. And we have
Robin from White Mountain Training. Hello.
hello. Today we're going to do the reading on the environment again because we have had news and things have changed. Robin and I have been talking a little bit yesterday, and we've noticed that there has been some changes in the environment already. Things are moving faster than we expected. So we've done a reading yesterday, and we're planning on presenting that today, but I can't feel the cards anymore, so I need to draw again. Sorry, Robin. So you want me to start with the reading, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups, the Two of Swords, the King of Wands, the High Priestess, and the Knight of Pentacles.
Is this for the West Coast?
That is for the West Coast. Does that look
Okay.
a little bit like what you had?
Yes.
We're overflowing. It's changed, isn't it? It's overflowing with the Ace of Cups, where there's an overwhelming feeling of, there's too much going on. And we are more and more recognizing that we are at a crossroad. Some people are trying to take charge, trying to take responsibilities, but we don't know everything. With the High Priestess, not everything is shown to us. There are things that Mother Earth is hiding from us. So more is going to happen. So we have to wait and see. So this is, like I said, the Ace of Cups. I feel that, it's more like it's overwhelming how the anxiety maybe that we're feeling with this. And the Two of Swords comes and confirms that, and also informs us that, bug out. Some people need to find their ways. Taking charge of the situation is not that easy. It is very difficult. It makes it difficult for everyone to fight the fires. It makes it it's difficult to fight the fires and to be ahead of everything that's going on, to take a lead, to take the lead ahead of Mother Nature. And like I said, Mother Nature is not telling us everything. More will come. This is changing on a daily basis. So, the night that goes nowhere is always hard at work. And right now is for who are on the ground, because he has to wait and see what's going to happen next. There's nothing else that he can do. Maybe try to ensure that things don't get worse, but that's all that can be done at this time. Does that make sense to you?
I think so. The card that I got to clarify is the Six of Cups reversed, which is the student becomes the teacher becomes the student. So what I'm getting is new techniques need to be developed, and new techniques need to be used right now to combat what's happening.
Okay. So in the Midwest right now, you know what? Your clarifier kind of gives me a segue into the Midwest, because right now, that's gonna be strange. The Midwest is like one big chunk. I always divided the Midwest to be, I don't know, we have to put the darn card. Okay. I always divided the Midwest to be kind of, the Rockies, the mountains, and the plains. And it's actually one big chunk. like you mentioned to me yesterday. And we are evaluating things because there's a lot of things that are going on right now and things are being evaluated. We get again another fire card, the Queen of Wands, and I see that as being a fire being started somewhere. Is it started by men? I think so. Is it voluntary? I don't think so. So if you go camping, be careful. No fire. Just no. Sorry. With the Four of Cups, what I feel is that not everything is as it seems. There is a cup there. Sorry, there's a cup there that is showing, but we're not seeing it. We only see those three cups. And I feel that this could be related to this Queen of Wands with the fire. And with the Eight of Pentacles, usually that is a student or an apprentice. Volunteer fire people, volunteers. People are going to have to learn to fight fires.
And floods and everything else.
And floods and everything else, yes. We had the flood yesterday, and I don't see it today. What's your clarifier? Do you have the flood?
I have the Ace of Swords reversed. So things are blocked. Solutions are blocked. It could also be almost look at like the little boy and the story of the little boy whose finger's in the dike. It's not a politically correct term anymore.
Yeah,
that means a dam.
Yeah.
and if he removes his finger, the dam bursts.
Yeah.
I almost feel like that's what this is.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. And
That was my
for the East Coast, things have changed already. Because we had the Six of Wands, I believe, yesterday, but it wasn't position where it's at now. We have the Eight of Wands, again, fire, with the Six of Wands. Right now, we're ahead, but we're not going to be ahead long because things are moving faster than we believe. Destruction. There's going to be some kind of destruction by fire. I had an image in my mind of land that had been burnt off completely. So a major fire is going to occur on the East Coast, one that is about to start soon, I think. And so maybe that's why I heard the word bug out earlier. And I have here the naivety with the Fool. I feel that there is naivety going on with that Fool. We are being naive about what we see. And again, an Ace of Wands, another fire. Fire, fire, fire. It's all about fire.
The clarifier I got was the Four of Cups reversed. When the Four of Cups is upright, it means like a solution is being presented, but the person is not willing to see it. They'll look at everything but the real solution. So when it's upside down, it means that the person finally sees what's in front of them, and that they know that they need to choose that. So maybe it goes along with the fact that the East Coast does not have wildfires the way that the West Coast does. So they're not used to that type of weather pattern. They're used to hurricanes and things like that. So maybe it's like, oh, well, we can't have a fire, and then, oh, there's this little fire starting. It's so humid, the fire won't go very far, but maybe the fire goes much farther than people think, and maybe they just need to wake up a little bit.
Yeah, I think that we're very, I think with the Fool, what I feel is naivety in the sense that exactly what you explained, where we're a little bit too confident. We're overconfident. And that's part of the issue. You're right. That is part of the issue. Now, with the with the Maritimes, I do have floods. I see water everywhere. At first, I think it talks to the people. I love the Maritimers, so maybe I'm being influenced by that. But it talks to the people helping one another, people sharing with one another, and that is their strength. That is the thing that is always going to help them out. Now, I see here isolation. I think the Maritimes are going to feel isolated from the rest of the country because their weather pattern is going to be a little bit different. I also see these white snow mountain here as water. So I see 2 feet in the water. And then we have full moon. I have the moon card. I felt full moon, which I never really, I seldom talk about astrology, so I don't know why I'm seeing that. But the lobster, the Maritimes is a big lobster industry.
True.
Lobster coming out of the water. Yesterday you talked about maybe the red tide, and I talked about the black tide. Is that going to influence the lobster industry? I don't know, but I see also the water moving in, even though the moon card, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, Robin, I don't think that is an action card.
No, it's a dreamy card.
It's a dreamy card, but I see water moving in. And then we have the King of Cups. With the King of Cups, I see a lot of water, flood. The king is flooded. But I feel also Justin will need, our Prime Minister, we might need to get involved in this one because it's really major. And again, with the page... Did I get the Page of Cup earlier?
I think you got it yesterday.
Yeah. This one, I see again the water. Those are mountains, but I feel it's water. Something to learn, but also income being thwarted. Thwarted, is that a word? Or am I inventing a new word? Okay.
No.
And yeah. I don't feel good about the Maritimes. I don't feel good about the Maritimes. What do you get?
I got the Ace of Pentacles, so being practical, like they're going to have to get very practical about what's going on, and just use what they know. You know, this is all about, it's the element of earth. It's about, you know, it's a slower moving ace, but it is about money, finance, stability. So they're going to do everything they can to keep things as stable as possible, and using the things, unlike the other cards, not using new technology, really just using what they know to handle things.
Yeah, and they've been successful doing that for hundreds of years.
Exactly.
And technology is not what's going to quote unquote save them. It's
not there. They're so remote anyway, you know, that basic, and they have, as you said, such a unique weather pattern.
Yeah.
That there really isn't anybody who can help outside of people that are already there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about, again, I apologize for my wet lip. It's COVID, because there's a lot of things going on with COVID right now. Things are changing. Robin and I did a reading planning to premiere it tonight, and it's already changed. So we have more and more difficulties getting people to get vaccinated, especially the youth. I think it's 99.9% of the people who are passing from COVID, they are not vaccinated. And there is a new strain coming out from Peru, the Lambda variant. And we have, what else do we have? Oh yeah, and there is also what's going to happen in Great Britain with lifting all the restrictions in spite of them having a 50% increase every 10 days in COVID cases. So, and there has been an increase in hospitalization as well, hasn't there, Robin?
Yes, there has, especially in areas where the vaccination rate is low.
Yeah. So the first thing we're going to look at is basically the Delta variant, see where we're at with that. Robin, do you want to look at the US and I'll look at Canada?
Sure. So I got the Queen of Swords reversed, so a lot of bitterness, a lot of anger regarding this, and then a lot of fighting, the Five of Wands, a lot of arguments, a lot of fighting regarding this variant, and then having to really just let it go. So what I'm getting is that besides the level of denial amongst the people that are unvaccinated that COVID is real, a lot of people just don't believe that COVID is real. They're going to have a really terrible awakening because they are the people that are getting so sick. There's going to be a lot of fighting, like they'll accept this variant kicking and screaming, and ultimately they're going to have to accept it because people who are unvaccinated and get the Delta variant get much sicker much quicker, and they're younger. They're a much younger demographic.
Yeah.
And so once they'll be forced to give up the denial, and that will be a hard pill to swallow, as they say.
Yeah. Robin, you know more about COVID than I do. I know you're not a doctor or a medically trained person at all, and we want to make that clear. We're not doctors. This is for entertainment purpose only. But just something that came to mind, I was wondering, could the Delta variant work like cancer does? If you look at cancer, when you are younger, cancer is faster and spread quicker than if you are older because of the cells renewal. As you get older, it's slower. What about the Delta variant? Do you think that could be something like that? I don't want to start a rumor here. I'm just asking a question.
I don't think so. No? I think the main difference is that when you're younger, when you're in your 20s and 30s, you really don't go to the doctor as often. You only go to the doctor when you're very sick. You usually just shrug everything off because your body is able at that age to really throw off most illnesses. So the COVID starts like the flu. And, right now, a lot of people have allergies, a lot of people get summer colds. So it starts that way, and they figure, well, COVID, I've heard this so many times, COVID is just a really intense version of the flu. And I've had the flu before, this is what they say, and so I just know that I'm going to get a little sicker than normal, but because I've gotten over the flu, I'll get over COVID, it's not a big deal. I hear this all the time. So I think that's what's going on. You think you're invincible. You think you can just kind of sleep it off. If you just go to bed for a couple of days and get 12 hours of sleep every night, you'll feel a lot better in a couple of days. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. And I think that's the rude awakening.
Oh my goodness. People think it's like the flu, yeah. Okay, well, for Canada, we have very strong cards. And we have the Magician, and with the Magician, I think that it is a really positive card in this case. We have everything we need to succeed and to make things happen. However, with the Lovers, there is going, I don't know, there is going to be a little bump in the road, not big, just a little bump in the road. where with the vaccines, we might run out a little bit of vaccines. Right now, we're shipping all our AstraZeneca to other countries, which is not a very popular vaccine. That's probably why we're shipping it out. And well, it's better than nothing, but anyway. With the family card, I feel that is a positive card too, because I think that people are going to be looking after their own. And they're taking care to get vaccinated to protect their own. And I think that's basically how it's being looked at. Now, with the Justice card, like I said with the lovers, there's going to be a little bit of imbalance, and I think it is related to the vaccine shortage. But the rest, I feel like that's not a Mother Nature card.
Mm-hmm.
It is?
It can be.
It can be, okay.
Is that the Queen of Pentacles?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be.
Because that's what came to mind, and I'm thinking that's really okay. So I think that nature is also going to help in this. We have 85% of all our vaccines distributed at this time, and we are at 50% fully vaccinated. So it's going into the right direction, and we're almost at 80% with one vaccine delivered. So I think it's taking the right path. We will need, nature is going to intervene at one point or another. So do I feel there's going to be another outbreak? Yes, I do believe so, because people are going to be a little bit overconfident and they'll want to return to work, but we'll be able to succeed in getting through this fairly easily. And just don't be deluded with, being attracted to things that may not be there. Just get your vaccines. That's basically what I feel. And yeah, so Canada is going to do all right. I think though that there's still going to be another lockdown at one point. And the cards are not showing me that, but my logic is telling me that that's probably going to happen. So we need to be prepared for that.
Well, travel is still restricted in Canada more so than in the U.S. The borders are more closed than in the U.S. So Canada is, like many other countries, trying to control the virus by restricting travel.
Yeah. And in the province of Quebec, there is going to be a vaccine passport being put in place. I don't know how they're going to work this out, but there is going to be a vaccine passport put in place. So that is to be expected. And frankly, I think that's okay. When I registered to go to university in the US, I had to have my, I can't remember which vaccination it had to be, start with an R. But anyway, I had to have that vaccination, and I was okay with that to be able to go to school there. So even though I was doing it remotely, so you got to do what you got to do to protect our society. So yeah. Do we want to look at the new variant? Is that going to be a thing, you think?
The Delta or the Lambda?
The Lambda.
Okay.
Lambda.
Yes, I have the Three of Cups reversed, so, all the partying is going to have to stop. And then the Chariot is, when we're talking about a virus. So the Chariot to me is not a positive card because it means it's moving forward, and it's moving forward at a breakneck pace. The Chariot doesn't move from side to side. It only moves forward, and it's very fast. And it's very, wobbly. Like, the Chariot is not a stable thing. No. And so once it moves forward, it's gonna go very fast and all over the place. And then again, this resistance to to fighting it. Like, it's going to take a while before people actually believe that this strain poses a threat to public health.
I see here this is the Hierophant, the institution card, the government card, and it makes sense in the sense that the Lambda virus the Lambda variant seems to come from Peru. In Peru, they take absolutely no precautions with this COVID virus. There is no COVID restrictions. Vaccination is very low, if existent at all. And so it makes sense. Boats. There's no boats in here though. In the fish. We're going to learn a lot about COVID from this variant, more so than the other variants. And it's going to be very telling. Artificial. Man-made? I don't know. I'm not talking that the COVID has been man-made or nothing like that, but those are kind of words that come to mind. Yeah, okay, it makes sense. I have my aha moment. This variant would not have happened without men having a hand into it. And the way the human has had a hand into it is by doing nothing. If we don't get vaccinated, we are creating new variants, and those new variants are more and more dangerous. Usually, though, with a virus, they get less and less potent, but it seems that with COVID, it gets more and more potent. It is going to be a huge weight on our shoulders, and I don't think it's going to be local. I think it's going to be worldwide again. Medicine is going to be offered, but it's going to do very little. And I see the sun as in the sun in the sky, not an astrological sign or the card itself. The sun will have an impact on the vitamin C and D will be needed. Extra vitamin C and D will be needed to help fight this variant. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel that's very informative about COVID, and that's where I get a lot of my information. It's
Okay.
Dr. Mike Hanson, Hansan.
Okay.
Or SON, Hanson. He has a lot of followers on YouTube. He is a pulmonary specialist. He's a lung doctor, and he does practice. He's medicine right now. I think he works in an ER. So he really talks about COVID from a scientific perspective, but in a way that everybody can understand. And basically, what he was saying is that the reason why the vaccine was pushed so hard was, to get herd immunity. And the reason why herd immunity is so important is that it basically puts the kibosh on all the variants. Variants can't happen if there's herd immunity. But because we haven't gotten there yet, the virus is mutating. It's mutating very quickly, which is why we have the Delta variant and now the Lambda variant. And that if people continue not to get vaccinated, if we continue to have these low percentages and not get to herd immunity, it's just going to keep mutating, and the people who are vaccinated will not be completely immune from these variants, which is what's happening. There are breakthrough cases, people who have been vaccinated, like me, who basically contract one of the variants of COVID. So that's one of the reasons why Pfizer and Moderna are looking towards a booster shot. It's to specifically target these variants because they keep mutating, and people are losing their immunity to COVID. So we're in a very precarious position right now, and I think that people don't realize it. Um, the U.S. currently is mixing the third vaccine, the booster shot. They don't want it. This may change as things change, but right now they don't feel that it's necessary. So, yeah, I highly recommend his channel. I've learned a lot from him.
I'll put
And
it in the description down below so that
great.
you guys can have
So
a look at it.
I think that's what's going on. And I know that I got the sun card as illumination, illuminating the truth. I'm not discrediting the need for vitamins. I think actually that's one of the treatments for COVID, to have like mega doses of B, C, and other vitamins. But I also think that things are going to come to light soon with these new variants.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, the last questions with a little bit of levity is about Britney Spears. Just so
Free
that,
Britney! Free Britney!
yay! Now, mental health is something serious. She's bipolar, she's medicated, and she should be able to lead a normal life because look at everything that she does. If there was a problem, she wouldn't be able to do all these things.
Well, it's very interesting because they've been talking about this. The media's been talking about what got her into the conservatorship to begin with. And, she had very bizarre behavior. She shaved her head. That's what kind of got this started. But what people don't realize is that she does have mental health issues, okay? Yeah. But she was also suffering from probably postpartum depression. She had 2 babies like within a year of each other, and so her body was like assaulted with these hormones. And if you already have mental health issues, that can, and the fact that she's always been overworked, they're saying that was probably what was going on at the time. And she did have a break. No one denies that she had a break. Yeah. But what they're saying is, as with anybody who has mental health issues, if you are in therapy and you're working on things, it doesn't mean that it's a life sentence.
No.
And this conservatorship, they also say, is something that they only do for people that are completely incapacitated. And they usually do it with the elderly, if at all. The type of conservatorship she's in is almost unheard of.
Yeah.
So, anyway, with that said, I actually got some really good cards.
Cool.
Free Britney. Justice. Justice is going to be served. She's going to go to court, and I think now is the time because she's in a better space mentally. She's not 100%, but she is able to advocate for herself now, which for a long time she wasn't even mentally strong enough to do that. And I say that because the second card is strength. She has an enormous amount of inner strength now. She can do it. She couldn't do it like 13 years ago. And the Page of Cups, I feel like this is her. I think she is a very young spirit, even though she's in her late 30s now. She still has many childlike qualities, and I don't mean that as a negative. And I just think they're going, and it's also about innocence. The Page is innocent. What the Page presents is without any type of filter or bitterness or irony.
Yeah.
So I think that people will really embrace the fact that she is at a place now where she just needs this conservatorship to end.
Well, I think that, yeah, she definitely is. Right now, she's very burdened, and there was a deal being made. Her manager resigned, and there was a deal being made between her manager and her father. She's a money-making machine, and that's all she is to them. And before, there was a lot of addictions related. She was self-medicated.
Yeah.
And that's because she was seeking help somewhere, seeking balance, and she couldn't get it. She's trying to walk away from them, and she's trying to prove that yes, she's okay. She's, let me be, let me live my life. And she's also, like you mentioned before, with the Page of Cups, the childlike behaviors and things like that. That is part of her, and that is part of her personality. Period. I think that there might be a little bit of imbalance at one point, and that's normal. That happens, especially she was always very controlled by others, and then the control goes away. She's going to lose her footing a little bit, and that's okay. That's normal. That's part of the growth, the growing up, of maturing. But there's going to be a celebration for her. People are really rooting for her, and her hopes is in that judge. She's putting her hopes in that judge. And the end is with the Six of Pentacles, where I feel that she's going to come up on top. I'm wondering if she's not going to leave the industry and
She
just
might.
concentrate on family and children.
I think the main difference is she understands she needs to be in therapy.
Yes.
The big issue is that they humiliate her because they make her go to the therapist's office. It's a therapist she did not choose. And whenever she leaves her house, the paparazzi are all on her still. So it's very stressful for her. She has a lot of PTSD. It's very stressful for her to go to the therapist's office. And it's a therapist she has never, connected with. And as someone who's been in therapy, it's all about the connection with your therapist.
Absolutely. Been there too.
Yeah. So, and the fact that she's able to articulate that means that she really has a greater understanding of her needs than she has ever had or has ever spoken about.
Yeah.
So I think it's very compelling to the judge. She's still, I listened to the leaked tape of her testimony to the judge. And, she rambles, but she admits that she's rambling. She admits that, that she's not 100% coherent. What I heard was someone who is very upset, who has a lot of issues, but understands that she has a lot of issues and she wants to deal with them.
Yeah, exactly. And she's entitled to it.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's free Brittany. Let's help her out. Let's send her love and light. Yeah. She deserves it.
I think she has a really good chance now. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take some time because going through the courts always does take time, unfortunately. But I do think that so many things are coming to light about what her life has been like under this conservatorship that I think that there's a real movement to allow her to live her own life.
Yeah, yeah. If it goes to a jury, I think that, it's going to be a no-brainer. I really believe that, unless there are a lot of prejudiced people in the jury where they see mental health as being, you need to be under lock and keys. But it's
actually just a judge. It's not a jury.
Good. So, she might be rambling, but when you're nervous, you do that. And it's her freedom at stake. Right. And
there were things that were being done to her that were really, a lot of people view it almost as sexual slavery. Like she was held captive by these people and forced to do things against her will. And, that is the definition of slavery.
It is. She's a money-making machine, so... Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyway, I guess that's it, folks.
On a happy note,
yes.
Let's wish Brittany, success
yes.
in her judgment. And, and as a woman, I feel like she really is a symbol for, the fact that women have been oppressed. And if she frees herself, then that will be a real victory for all women.
Yes, I agree. And she, it's going to also be a a victory for people suffering from mental health,
Yes.
specifically bipolar, which is not an easy mental health issue to treat, because not everyone, there are only 2 medications and not everyone respond well to them. So, I wish her all the luck, and I'm sending her love and light because she needs it big time, big time. So, thank you very much, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Robin. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.